Wildlife species are managed by state and federal agencies that monitor their population numbers and health. Their populations are monitored to ensure a balance with their ecosystem, and game species populations are managed by increasing or decreasing the numbers that can be hunted from year to year in an area. Like native wildlife, horse grazing is not managed by timing or intensity of grazing. Currently, free-roaming horses are managed by establishing an appropriate management level and removing a portion of the horses from the range and putting them into holding facilities until they are placed. This process can take years or even decades to reach target populations. Increasing horse numbers have been shown to create competition with many classes of wildlife and have the potential to damage habitats. In the Great Basin of the western United States, where most of the free-roaming horses live, wetlands, streams, and springs comprise less than 5% of the landscape. Water is in short supply, which means that to survive, wildlife and horses must compete for access to water sources. Horses compete with other animals by either using the water, making it inaccessible, or by physically excluding the wildlife from the water. For example, a herd of horses may group around a water source in the summer and spend nearly the whole day or close to it at the water source. They eat all of the higher quality forage at the water source, and their hooves trample the soil and quickly transform a spring into a mud pit, where fresh water is no longer available. Unlike many native wildlife that come to a water site for a short period each day, horses tend to stay at the water site for several days. Their constant presence at water sources excludes access to the water by many wildlife species. Research in the Great Basin has found that mammal species visited water sources 3 times less often in areas where horses were present. The decrease in use was because of horses' aggression towards other mammal species. For example, a study by Gooch in 2017 determined that 75% of interactions between horses and pronghorn were negative, and horses chased off pronghorn that tried to approach the watering hole. Pronghorn accessed water 40% less often in areas with horses, spent more time vigilant, and changed the timing of day that they came to the water. This change in behavior can result in lower fitness and lower reproduction rates of these species. In another study, desert bighorn sheep accessed water 76% less than they did when horses were absent. Berger and Hall measured similar decreases in water accessibility in mule deer and elk. Free-roaming horses can negatively influence important cover for other species that require it for survival. When large herds of horses persist on the landscape, particularly the dry rangeland of the Great Basin, they can decrease sagebrush and grasses and reduce the habitat suitability for species that nest in this vegetation, such as songbirds, the greater sage grouse. For example, Boyd in 2017 measured lower vegetation height and more bare ground in areas where horse densities were high. This resulted in low bird species diversity. Because of the potential for horses to impact sagebrush habitats, free-roaming horses have been listed as a threat to greater sage grouse and greater sage grouse obligate populations.